Καλησπέρα σας. Θα ήθελα πριν αρχίσω, before I start my talk, I forgot I was going to give it in English actually. Before I start my talk, if you could grab the little goodie bag that was given to you today, again, and there's a white piece of paper in it. If it's still there, it's beautiful watching all these green bags coming up. And an amazing pen that's in it. And if you could, on that white piece of paper, make a drawing of something you want to say, maybe something you're feeling, or something you want to say to the person on your left, whether you know that person or not. And I will let you do that, and I will continue my talk. The people on the edge, tough. I'm sorry, I don't know how to work this out. I was thinking about it all day, but maybe just give it to someone who doesn't have a piece of paper so they don't feel left out. And then don't explain to them what you're drawing. It defeats the object. And leave it with them, and I'll just carry on while you're doing that, if that's okay. It can be just a little drawing. You need to focus on me, not the drawing. So, my life has been a little bit crazy at the moment, and I haven't had much time to practice my talk. And I thought, you know, one night when I was putting our 15-month-old daughter to sleep, the craziness can be, you know, seen there. I thought, why not give her my full-on TED talk? You know, just go on, just give her the talk as opposed to, you know, horrible singing of lullabies that you're doing. So I did it, and I gave her my full-on TED talk, and it worked amazingly. It sent her straight to sleep every night. But that's not the point. The point is that I had one of those why not moments, and it got me thinking, right? When do we actually have these why not moments? We have them when we are restricted in our life, when we want to evolve, but we can't because of certain boundaries we have, and we need to adapt. And that is when we have these why not moments. Now, when the word came out that I'm going to be talking to you here today, a friend emailed me and said, "You're fearless." And I said, you know, I looked at that and I said, you know, I don't know why I'm fearless, because I look fearless, because I really am not fearless at all. And it got me thinking, and I thought, well, you know, I'm fearless because I fear. I fear a lot of things. I fear about the future. I fear about the world we're passing on. And I gathered, in order to make a change, to make leave behind you a positive way of thinking, a new way of thinking, you have to be fearless. That is when the fearless factor kicks in. Now, we've established we're all different. We know that. And we all think in different ways, and we all evolve in different ways, and we all learn in different ways. But where do we apply this in our daily life? Now, what I want to see more of is using what I call alternative forms of communication, which those would be through the arts, whether that be through theater, music, dance, spoken poetry, you name it, visual arts, what I will talk about more, and that because I major in that. Why? Because being creative first heals, and healing is the step before positive progress. 2, being creative is a form of meditation. 3, being creative, or creativity, transcends boundaries such as age, culture, disability, time, gender. And 4, being creative is direct. It gets straight to the point. Now, I went to an exhibition recently at the Benaki Museum in Athens of Yannis Moralis. And he had donated in 2009 a series of his architectural compositions. And in an informal conversation he had with a curator of the exhibition, he was asked, Mr. Moralis, did you study architecture in university? He said, no. Were you good in math in school? He said, not really. Well, the curator asked, the reason I'm asking is because of the accuracy of your architectural compositions. And he responds, well, purely, they're done by instinct. which of course in Greek, he said, "Απλούστατα με την αίσθηση," which is this inner balance, this inner aesthetic we have inside us, with which we're capable of producing excellence. Now, have you ever thought of that? That we are actually capable of producing excellence via instinct, which gets to my point, that excellence can be achieved through many different ways. Now, in mid-February, for the purpose of this conference, I started a blog called Draw to Eileen. And the task of the blog was actually very, very simple. It was to get the general audience of the internet to draw to me. And what I was doing is every few days, I was posting a new theme under which I asked for the audience to submit visual interpretations of that theme. Now, the responses I got were very interesting in the sense that this visual communication started via me sharing them in social networks, and I got lots of likes for some, and I was wondering, why are these liked so much, and others maybe not so much. And also the interesting thing is that I think that most of the contributors were not artists, which got me thinking, since when is an artist's art too precious to be on a blog? And since when is art for the few? Now I'm going to show you a few images. One is one contributor who was, what was really great about their digital drawings was that it was a series of drawings throughout all of the themes that I was posting. And from what I understand, what they did was they focused on that black circle being themselves, and they adapted that according to the theme. Now the themes are written on top. Now another interesting thing is, look at this. I got a lot of contributions for my life, and there were lines. Why do we think of our life in lines? Have you ever thought of that? And not only lines, but overlapping lines, like another example is here. And that speaks louder than words, I think. And my greatest fear, the same contributor, and I think this is a strong image. And this, okay, my last thought before I fall asleep. I have no idea what that is, right? But the great thing about it is that this person could have never have described this unless they drew it. And the speed junkie. And the same contributor again that I was talking about, which I think these are very strong images. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the work, my personal work, and some why not moments that I had in it. And one of them was in a few years back, in 2008, I attended the first international open art residency in Eretria, Evia island here in Greece, where I wanted to create a site-specific piece. That's what I do. I'm a public artist. And I wanted that piece to be able to be viewed through the whole of the world, to the whole of the world. And I also wanted the world to see the process, how I'm thinking, every step, how my brain is, evolved, how my ideas are evolving, my inspiration. And I thought, okay, why not create a website through which I will be blogging my every single day of creativity. And then I thought, why not, since I want to do a site-specific piece, but I don't want it to be actually on site and just take pictures of it, I will create a fake Google Earth platform in which I will depict an event, a fake event, that happened in ancient Greece. So that was all online and great. And my live art projects continued. I went on to be a little bit more hands-on. I did a sound installation at my grandfather's house on Syros, Greece. And obviously I conceived along the way. And, but the problem was then, I got to this point where, great, okay, I'm doing all this stuff. It's digital, it's online. But, I've got a slight issue. I hate my computer. Well, I don't hate it. I've got this love-hate relationship with it. And I thought, wait a minute. We're all in this race to do things faster, better, more digitally, more, more quicker. And we lose, and especially in the visual arts, we lose the craftsmanship, the art, the very basic thing of drawing, the first language we have ever had, ever since our existence. Now, what I did in my third live art residency was try to get the best of both worlds, which was I started to draw again. I just drew and I painted. But I got the best of both worlds because I was doing that, but also my work was online, live. Now, another why not moment I had in my career was I had the privilege of being asked to do a public art piece at Great Ormond Street Hospital for children in London. And there, I started thinking, how could I even begin to do a public art piece there when I don't even know the children? It was in the Department of Psychological Medicine with children with severe eating disorders. So I thought the way for me to communicate with them would be through a workshop. But I wanted in that workshop for them to escape the physicality of their body. So I decided to darken up a room, put black light, and have them paint in fluorescent paint. And some children would paint on the wall, some on the floor who were too weak to stand. And it got me thinking again how we're all so very different, and we all need to be approached in different ways, and we all create in different ways. Now, many of you will be familiar with Sir Ken Robinson's talks on education, which I find amazingly inspiring. And may I loosely quote him on how we have an educational system which is programmed to produce university professors. Now, I totally agree with that, and I think he was applying to he was talking to the UK about the UK educational system, but I think this is a universal problem. And when I was listening to his talks, it got me thinking how I absolutely hated school. I dreaded school, and the only thing I had looking forward to in school was gym class and art class. And I bet other children hated gym class and art class for their own reason, because they were different. And it's all well and good to be talking about how the education system is messed up, but what do we actually do about it? Now, there are solutions out there, such as the Montessori Method, which, contrary to popular knowledge, it cannot only apply to kindergarten students, but also it can be applied to students up to the age of 18. Another great example is the High School of Επαγγελματική Κατάρτιση here in Greece for special needs individuals. The hierarchy of their lesson, up there's art, music, agricultural studies. When I heard that, I thought, I wish I went to school like that. And it's not strange that Dr. Maria Montessori started her research on the basic rules of scientific education for special needs individuals in the 1800s. Now, speaking as a mother and an artist rather than an educator, the only thing I don't want to see is my daughter to go through the artificiality of this. Especially when all she wants to do is dance. Shakira, specifically. And why? I don't want her to stop dancing or singing or doing whatever else she feels like doing, because I don't want her to be one of those people who we all know who in their life are doing something but actually would really like to be doing something else. And just to close up, another interesting exhibition I went to at the Museum of Cycladic Art in Athens on book art from the School of Fine Art in Athens, a course founded in 1939 by Yannis Kefalinos, who was from Alexandria. And he lived in Paris, and he didn't have any contact with Greece, but the only hope he had for Greece was this, that every print in our daily life, even the tram ticket, to be a work of art for the aesthetic education of the public. How beautiful is that? Now, if you could just grab that piece of paper that was given to you, turn it around to the other side, and if you could respond to the person who passed it on to you with another drawing, and just pass it on to them and take it home. Thank you very much.